Good morning, welcome to Kayak Fishing Cornwall. As you can see, I couldn't sleep last night. I'm here like the crack of dawn. Yeah, the forecast today, not brilliant. We've got like stronger winds than I'd ordinarily go out in, but I'm planning to fish a place right in close. So I should get a lot of protection from the fish. That's why I'm on the water this early, because I'm confident that being close in, there's not going to be anything travelling very fast out where I am. So visibility is good. I can see far enough. I can hear. It's actually flat as a pancake. I wasn't expecting it to be this nice, but yeah, I'm not disappointed. Really today, bass is what I'm going for. I'm not going to get out on the reef because I think the wind will, I think the wind will be too much for that. So I'm going to stay in close and I'm going to look for bass. We've got a big tide today, which is unusual for me. The last several times I've been out, the tides have been tiny. Got a big tide. Tide was just over an hour ago, an hour and a half ago, I reckon. Yeah, we're on the ebb. Should be some good tidal movement. So I'm going to have a little troll about, get to where I'm going, start casting loose. Actually, I can't resist having a cast here. I'm only just outside the harbour, but I'm going to stand a few casts. The wind is very light at the moment, but between now and 9 o'clock, apparently it's going to pick up to 14 knots, which is, I don't know what that is in mile an hour, 17, 18. So, more than I would normally go out in. But like I said, I reckon I can get some shelter here. So, I'm going to take the opportunity, because you don't know when the wind and the rain's going to just start and not stop. Right, I've got nothing casting around there, so I'm going to troll, just have a little troll with these along the edge of the island, see if there's anything there, and then maybe make my way to the spot I was planning on fishing today. If I can feel that wind picking up a little bit already. Behind me. Oh, it's lovely and flat. If it wasn't for that strength of that wind, it would be nice out there on the reef today. Lovely, actually. Ah, fish, yes. Right. Funny that, it's casting all over it here and nothing, and put the rod out trolling and fish almost straight away. Well, feels like it's come off actually. It's either that or it's tiny. It is tiny. It's a tiny pollock. I didn't expect to see that. Hang on. Okay, one tiny pollock. Away you go. Right. Drag that lure off the bottom. Chuck this one out again. Oh shit! That was a hit then, wasn't it? See that? Hope you saw that. Oh, that's a fish. Yeah. Oh no. Ah, it's dropped it again. Come on, fish. Oh shit. Nearly pulled the rod out. Hold of that one. That's a decent fish. Yes. Well, when I say decent, I mean it's not a 6-ounce pollock. It's a bass. I would like to keep a bass or two today if I find any. Not if I find any worth keeping, that is. This one, looking a bit small. Yeah, a little bit small, but that's what I was after today. There he is, first one of the day. Probably not, yeah, not 40, I wouldn't have thought. Right, I need to move a little bit, don't I? Right, I'm going to have a cast or two where I just picked out that little schoolie. Because I had hits on both rods there. I think there's probably a few fish around. That's a fish, yes. Ideal. There is a few fish around. Come on. It's not massive. It's similar to the last size. The last one. Let's have him. Let's have him up. Come on. Hold your horses, fish. You're not helping yourself there at all. You've done yourself any favours. Let's do another schoolie. Right, we're off to a good start, really. Those fish probably wouldn't have made 40 centimetres. So, looking for something around the 50 mark. That's what we like. Right, there's a little lump on the map. Doesn't really look like much on there, but you never know, it might be enough to put a few fish on it. So I'm going to cast over that specifically. Well, I'm marking fish right where I am, actually, right underneath where I am, so I might be sort of on top of where they're hiding here, or where they're sitting. I'll have another cast in the direction of that. Sort of lumpy bit. What does that say? It's about 30 metres in front of me. Oh, that's a fish. Yes! Oh, you know, it's hard. It's come off. I think I'm going to have to do my drag up a bit. Maybe I'm not setting the hooks, because I quite often troll with a light drag so the rods don't get yanked out of the bloody rod holders when you get a take. I'll put that back over where it was. We'll just have that hit. Right, I'm going to reposition myself quickly and cast back at that little lump, because you know, just had a hit there casting at it. Get a little bit closer just to make sure I'm getting right over the back of it and bringing the lure over the whole thing. Right, so it's dead ahead of me now. That should do it. Oh yeah, big fish mark under me here. I'm just on the, just come over the lump. It's a big fish mark. I'll give it a couple of twitches, see if that can encourage a bite. That's a hit. Yes, fish. Yeah, that one's on, I think. Yeah, ain't much of a fish. That's a tiny fish. It's a tiny pollock. Yeah, the tiny pollock. Right, I'm going to have a few casts here. Just marked a few fish. Not a lot, but there's a few marks down there. You can only catch them one at a time, can't you? So, you know. Ah, yes. Yeah. Go. Another schoolie. Well, if there's anything. Ah, no, it came off. Bloody hell. Right. Well, we'll have another cast in that direction. That's a hit. Oh, I dropped it. That's a hit again. Right, I've repositioned myself, so hopefully I'll drift past that area which appears to be holding quite a few fish, and I can just sort of cast towards the island as I do it. Hopefully it'll put me in the right place. We're about to find out. Can't believe how light the wind is. I mean, wind finder is usually bang on, so I'd be surprised if it isn't today. But having said that, the other week I was checking the forecast all week as I do, and all week it was saying, it was really windy on the Saturday. And I think I last checked it like on the Friday morning, and it was still saying windy. And I thought, no, then I won't bother. And I went out. And then the next day, Saturday morning, it was lovely. Hardly any wind. I was pretty annoyed. I just wrote the idea off of fishing. So it is wrong occasionally. Fish. Yeah. Oh, you're kidding me. Has he gone again? That went again. That's another dropped fish. Go for the lift and wind again. I just had a hit doing that, didn't I? That's a hit. Yes. Oh. Well. What the hell is going on? Okay. I'm changing to the only Savage Gear sand eel head that's ever out survived its body, which is in white, to a body which has obviously been left behind, because that's what you end up with usually. A little blue body. This is going to be it. They're going to think, oh, a bluefish, I'm going to eat that, rather than a bright yellow day glow fish or a massive white one. Here we go. I am really tempted to go on the reef because this wind hasn't materialised yet. I can always, if it does pick up, I can always sort of get my ass back in close. So yeah, I might have 20 minutes on the reef actually. Right, would you believe it? I just dropped a fish. Had a fish and it dropped another one. I'm getting tugs on this rod though. I think it's dropped it and followed it because I've had a couple of knocks since it dropped it. What are they doing today? To check my hooks. Someone's got to sabotage my hooks. But that white lure is a new one. I retired the remains of the last one to the bin. I think it's the first body I've ever thrown in the bin. They usually end up decorating the seafloor. Right, something strange just happened. I pedalled over a couple of marks and I thought, well, I'll just chuck a lure out and then I'll pedal out a little bit and I'll sort of troll it back to the boat or to the yak. And as I put the bail arm over, it went solid. And I thought it was the bottom, but there's something on here. It's a wrasse, a big old wrasse. Nice one. Oh well. I didn't expect them to be wrasse there, actually. I might have another little cast in here because there's a few, and there's marking fish now. Right, let's show the folks this beautiful wrasse. Nice one. As usual with wrasse, it's going to need the forceps. That actually felt like a much bigger fish than that. Stop it. No, you stop it. Right. That's me. Looking right pigs here, this. Right, he's gone. I'm going to have a cast here. Right, I'm out on a reef. I'm just going to see if I can find a couple of pollocks to bend the rod before I head back in. Got to work out what way I'm going to drift. Right, this is getting dire. I haven't had a sniff out here on the reef. I was confident as well, but loads of fish, got a nice drift going. I'm going to give the old white sand eel one last chance to get me a fish, and then I think I'm just going to call it and troll my way back in. It's got until we get off the reef. Okay, I'm heading back in. The reef was like dead quiet. Had a couple of taps, but it was probably wrasse. So yeah, I could do with a cup of coffee. I've had a few bass and a few small pollocks, so it was nice to get out on the water. The forecast I look at was clearly off because you know, the wind is nowhere near as strong as it was supposed to be, and the conditions, actually the surface conditions, are really good. But yeah, the fishing's not so hot at the moment, so I'm just going to troll in. If I hook up, I'll bring you back, or if I find a big pile of fish, I'll have a few casts. Thanks for joining me today. I'll get out as soon as I can for some more fishing. See you next time.